Hi, welcome to the latest email from School for Discipleship. Sorry, we didn't include a video last week. We were on our Oxford tour, travelling around, visiting some of the streets, the famous locations in Oxford that tie in with church history, Bible history, and so on. So we had a great day, but it meant that there was no time to produce a video last week. So this week I want to share a little bit with you about one of the great things we got to see at Oxford, just for a few minutes of your time. Welcome to new subscribers as well who are getting this email. We've picked up a lot more interest in the Bible College in a Box recently, and we're developing those resources. So do take a look at the drop-down menu where it says training, and you'll see the video content that goes with the textbooks. And we're gradually adding more video content, so you really will have in that box a great kind of syllabus for your own study of the Bible and for your personal discipleship. But why do we do an Oxford trip from our Wednesday Bournemouth-based discipleship training course? Well, Oxford is a great centre for study, and it has been for hundreds of years, for centuries. And so in that one city, we were able to see snapshots of British history, the period of the martyrs, the Reformation, C.S. Lewis, Tolkien, of course. So great figures of Christian history. At the Ashmolean Museum, we were able to see something of more ancient biblical history. So actually, I'll be honest with you, the Ashmolean, because it's a little quieter than the British Museum in London, the finds don't quite rival the British Museum, but there's enough there to fill a day of study and exploration. It's a great museum, and it's a lot quieter than the British Museum in London. So I do recommend the Ashmolean Museum to you if you want to do a day out in Oxford and do some study. But a highlight for us was a very particular find we got to see, which was a little behind the scenes in the library. And it's not something we are guaranteed to be able to see again. It just happens that it was possible with the circumstances we were in. So we had quite a unique opportunity to see up close and personal a manuscript of the Bible, but not just any manuscript, but one of the earliest manuscripts found anywhere in the world. And I've got it here. This is a replica, a replica of what's called P64, which we saw at, they call it Magdalen College, it's spelt Magdalen, but at Magdalen College in Oxford. And P64, the P just means papyrus, because that's what it's made of, papyrus. And the number is a kind of scholarly system that they use for numbering the different papyri that have been found from the ancient world. This is all that's kind of left of pages of an ancient book. They call it a codex. It's organic papyrus, made of the papyrus plant, so it's disappearing before our eyes in one sense. Very carefully preserved, though, these fragments that were found from Egypt. They come from Luxor in Egypt. That's where they came onto the market in 1901, from Luxor. We're not absolutely sure where they came from in terms of where they were found. Probably a place called Oxyrhynchus in Egypt, which was a rubbish dump of the ancient world, where many manuscripts have been found. It's very dry, so it can preserve them. But even so, very deteriorated, these are the fragments that were left. And so P64, Papyrus 64, is the earliest fragments of the Gospel of Matthew found anywhere in the world. There are two other manuscripts, actually. It's P4 and P67, I think. One of them is in Barcelona and one of them is in France. And those are also potentially part of the same original book. So they're all fragments from the same book that have gone to different parts of the world. And so this was originally a page in a codex. So a codex is a book. We know it's a book, not a scroll, because it's double-sided. And these little fragments are sections of Matthew chapter 26. Same on the reverse side, because it's got writing on the other side as well, not with my replica. But in the nice one, the original that we got to see, you can see both sides. And the photo I shared is actually of the reverse side of these particular fragments. Matthew chapter 26, the woman with the anointing of Jesus, that's the story, remarkable. That's the story preserved here. Obviously, it's Greek writing. It's Greek writing the New Testament. And the dating here of Matthew is possibly about 150 to 170 AD, 150 to 170 AD, so 2nd century, middle to late 2nd century. That's debated, though. That's the general consensus. There are scholars who believe it's much, much earlier than that. Carsten Tiede, who's a German papyrologist, he, a number of years ago now, came up with a theory that because of the papyrus and the style of handwriting, it's way earlier than that. So he puts the date right back into the 1st century. That's not a mainstream view, but it's very intriguing. There is, in the other fragments that have been found, a title fragment. So there's a fragment that says the Gospel of Matthew, and that might be associated with these fragments and gives you a real idea of how important these fragments are for our reconstructing of the New Testament we read today. Because, you know, the Bible we read today obviously is a translation of copies of copies of copies that go back to the time of the early church. And what fragments like this show us, very convincingly, is that our copies of copies of copies have been faithful to the very earliest sources. It's not a case of the kind of the telephone game where something has changed over time, the whispers game, where things change over time, and what we have now is nothing like what was originally written. There's actually estimated to be something like 24,000 manuscripts, which is like this: some in Greek, some in Aramaic, some in Latin, some in Coptic, Syriac, and so on. And these manuscripts in the ancient world can be put side by side. There's about 5,000 Greek, but far more if you add together the other languages. And you can put them side by side and reconstruct the New Testament to show that what we have is accurate and reliable to what was originally written. So Chris, Jack and I, when we got to see P64 and the rest of the group, of course, as well, we were very excited to be able to actually see this up close and personal. There is an earlier manuscript called P46, which is Papyrus 46, which is held in Manchester, John Rylands Museum, and that's a fragment of the Gospel of John. Dates perhaps to about 120 AD. So these manuscripts are so important for us in terms of our understanding the reliability of the Bible, the text. But there's also something kind of spine-tingling about holding in your hands such ancient Christian writings that really connect us back within just a few generations, maybe even earlier, of the original apostles as they wrote those words. The Bible is not a result of legend or myth over time. It's eyewitness evidence that goes back to the 1st century, to the very time of Jesus. So that's all part of School for Discipleship. We want to study the Bible and understand its origins, its meaning, and how it's come to be and how we have it in our hands. So the Oxford trip, we may not get to see P64 again for a while, but the Oxford trip will certainly happen, and the British Museum trip, and all these external evidence that help us to build up a picture of the reliability of the Bible. So thanks for watching this. We'll be sending you another one in 2 weeks' time. It's half term next week. And more video content will be uploaded to SfD's site. So let your friends know, get them to subscribe, get them to get a copy of the box. Thanks to those friends joining us from Myanmar. And we know we've got friends joining us from Africa as well. There's some exciting stuff going on in Nairobi and potentially in Lagos as well. So you'll hear more about that in due course. But as we roll out this healthy, good, reliable Bible teaching for discipleship, we hope many more people are going to join us too. So thanks for watching this, and thanks for watching to the end as well. We look at the stats from time to time. We see the videos, the drop-off rate for watching a video to the end is very high. I think only 25% of those who click on this link actually watch to the end. So thank you for being one of the 25%, one of the elite, let's say, and the premium members of School for Discipleship. And we'll be back in touch very soon. So God bless you.